Olympia Soiree. What's good, everybody? Mid-Morning Soul back at it again with another part to Olympia Soiree. And folks, since we've 100% completed the game, saw the congratulatory CG and everything, now I want to take this time to jump in front of the camera and give y'all my review on said visual novel. Of course, I have a habit of doing this for visual novels that I 100% I fully enjoy, and I want to do this in the style of a spoiler-free review because I would like for you to share this if you had somebody who was on the fence about Olympia Soiree, don't know what it's about, if it was any interest. I also did the 100% playthrough, but I took care to not spoil too much in the thumbnails that I picked. So also in this video, I do want to extend that courtesy to not spoil too much, but stuff that's in the common route, stuff that you can find on the synopsis, that's pretty much what I'll be spoiling, quote unquote, not really spoiling. I'll be definitely informing you all about. But yeah, without further ado, let's get on into it, shall we? So what is Olympia Soiree? Olympia Soiree is another localized Otome brought in by aksys, developed by Idea Factory, and all the stuff, the usual spiel, otomate. I'll read the synopsis. Restore light to a darkened world. The last surviving member of her clan, Olympia travels to Tengu Island to perform a ritual to bring back the sun. The heads of each district lead a society governed by rigid class structures. Able to travel between the districts, Olympia discovers their wonders and weaknesses. She searches for a partner to help bring unity to this imperiled land. So to expand upon that, you are Olympia, who is the last remaining white island, or of Tenyo Island. Tenyo Island is a little sister island to Tengu Island. Tengu Island is the main island. And, at first glance, it is a color... It is an island that boasts about its beautiful colors. You have your primary colors, red, blue, yellow, and then you have the secondary colors, which are the colors that you can make when you combine any of the primary colors. And then you have other colors that don't really fit that description, but they're on the island as well. So that's not getting in too much detail, but it's an island that is, I want to say it kind of mimics the real world, but it's it has its fantasy themes in place. I would want to say that it's trying to imitate like what an island nation, what an island sovereignty is all about, but they still take on characteristics of, the currency they use. It's based off real world currency, the language, so on and so forth. So that is, in a nutshell, Olympia Soiree, and let's talk about the heroine. The heroine of Olympia Soiree, as mentioned, is Olympia, but that is actually not her real name. That is her stage name, if you will. Her real name you're able to customize and characterize to your liking. I believe on just a first name basis though, because the customs and traditions on that island, you don't really have a surname, so you are able to customize Olympia's real name. And of course, in my playthrough, I went with the default naming system. or naming system, the default name. Like has been mentioned before in the synopsis, she is the last remaining white. So she has special privileges, like was mentioned in the synopsis as well. She's able to travel to whichever district she desires. She's able to choose whoever she wants to be with. She's just turned 18 years old, and not only is she tasked with finding a mate so she can continue on the white bloodline, but she's also tasked as to offer daily prayers and dance to appease the sun goddess Amaterasu. So she has a lot on her shoulders, and you will find out going through this visual novel that she has she's going through a development, which I appreciated, you know, going through Olympia Soiree. That's a big part of the story, is her character development. And as far as looks go, yeah, she looks interesting. She looks nice. She kind of, I hate to say it though, but she kind of has that cookie cutter Otome protag type of layout where, you know, she's demure, she keeps to herself. She is very naive, very, very naive. She's very sheltered as well, very sheltered. But she's very privileged because the island is making its priorities as opposed to continuing her bloodline. So she's gonna get a lot of special treatment, preferred treatment. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to her without getting into spoilers territory. So we'll just leave it like that, and we'll talk about pacing. So the pacing of Olympia Soiree, boy howdy, let me tell you, be prepared. I thought I ran into a long common route, but no, Olympia Soiree takes the cake with the long common route. I forget how many chapters it is, but it's quite a sizable amount of chapters. Within each chapter for the common route, you're being introduced to each of the love interests, you know, and then you get a bit of lore. So you get a little bit of lore dumping in the beginning, which, okay, I can understand, I can tolerate. So once you get to a certain point in the common route, then it just becomes free-flowing. Like, you're gonna get into what you want to get into immediately. Speaking of long, the length of Olympia Soiree. I checked my Switch last night before doing this this review, and it says that I clocked in at 115 hours. I believe that is the longest I've ever done for a visual novel. I thought it was Cafe Enchante, but no, Cafe Enchante, there were parts where I may have fell asleep, and then parts where I had to redo because my capture card messed up. So there's that into consideration. But Olympia Soiree, I didn't really run into those technicalities. Also with like Pio Fiore, I believe. Pio Fiore, maybe it might be longer than Pio Fiore, because Pio Fiore I had to double back as well for the technicalities. So yeah, this might be the longest visual novel I've ever done, put in work for. But keep in mind, of course, I'm going to always mention this, I did a full completionist route, and it was a let's play. So, of course, you may not take as long as I did. But I would say, if you're doing like an any percent type of run through, it might take maybe 60 to 75 hours. 100%, maybe 75 to 90. it wouldn't take as long as I took. But because I was reading Olympia's parts in the narration, it took a while. So I would want to say maybe, I think that might be the truer length, because I did not really have heavy technicalities with this one. Yes, darling, the art, you gotta see if, you know, the art is speaking to you, because it's a visual novel. Where are the visual elements, right? So the character art, not much else to say. I mean, the character designs are nice. I really didn't have like a stellar, like, I think the main character and the love interest are okay, but I believe the leaders of the island, their designs are like, whoa. They take the cake. So I give the island's leaders, once you get a look at them, their designs like were intricately thought out, and holy cow, they like brush aside everyone else. Excuse me. They brush aside everyone else, y'all. I mean, it's no competition in terms of like clothing design and, you know, just their aesthetics. So the leaders of the island, they slayed, and the main character and the love interest, they kind of pale in comparison, which is sad. You shouldn't have, even though they are a pretty significant part of the story, still, it's like some characters shouldn't outshine the main characters. The background, you know, it's an island, right? So you wouldn't think that there was much versatility in terms of what's going on, but no, there is. There's some, you know, different terrain. Of course, you got your beach setting, they have like the metropolized areas, which is nice. It does kind of feel a bit bare bones compared to, I want to say, like Pio Fiore and Cafe Enchante. Like, it's an island, you know, how varied can you get? So the background, even though they are beautiful, they are done beautifully. It's just that it's kind of empty in comparison to like the previous visual novels that I've played. Okay, so the music. Now, the music in Olympia Soiree, it's nothing stands out too much. The music in this visual novel, it's not bad sounding. It's just there was like maybe 2 pieces of music that stood out to me the most, and I'll actually play a snippet of each. The first one being, when you get to a certain area of the island, we'll say that, and you're greeted by this really upbeat, like Japanese inspired theme. And makes sense though, because like the area you visit, it's heavily Japanese influenced, and even the island, it has its Japanese influences. They use their currency and the manner of style that they dress, and then even in a particular district, they use their architecture. So, you know, it's natural that, you know, the music kind of it kind of takes from Japanese influence as well. So, yeah, I really do dig this tune. It doesn't play a lot in terms of like the whole 100% playthrough, but it does play like when you are in the area and you reach, it's even with one of the love interests. So yeah, I really dig this theme because it's more upbeat. But there's a second piece of music in which it's the exact opposite. It's not upbeat. It's very ominous sounding. I don't know what it is, but I do like ominous sounding music. basic. So, yeah, this one is like some shit's about to go down, basically. And you are like, oh my god, I know I goofed. What's going on? Please, please. But yeah, it did kind of put the fear in me, y'all. I will say that. But nothing like too stellar, too like, wow, this soundtrack is amazing. It's alright. It's alright. Whoever thought to do this, give that person a raise, flowers, all that good stuff. You are just able, once you finish the common route, you are just able to select the route you want to go to. There's no guesswork. There's actually, I believe in the common route, I might be mistaken, but in the common route there are no choices, period. You're just exploring the story. You're getting lore dumped. And you're getting a taste of each individual LI for their time to shine, right? So there's no guesswork. If you want to go after the blue, go after the blue. If you want to go after the yellow, go after the yellow. If you want to go after the green, go after the green. So on and so forth, right? So yeah, they just explicitly tell you, hey, here, choose your man. Let's get to the story, right? And then, as another pleasant surprise, once you finish a route, you could just jump straight to the last chapter of the common route and then pick your route from there. You do not have to go through the common route once again. You could just go to the last chapter, skip all that talk beforehand, and then, okay, pick your man, pick your next route, pick your next man. That is the biggest plus for me. I assure you, if I had to go through the common routes, it would have probably been an extra 3, 4, or 5 hours, we'll say. Ridiculous. But no, the chapter select being done right at that point and the option to choose your route. Yes, give that person, whoever thought of that, give them the flowers, because I really do appreciate that. That saves a lot of time and a lot of headache. I'm not talking about Olympia being married. I'm talking about what I didn't like about the visual novels. And there's not that much, but there are some stuff. Even though there weren't many, there were some typos. I think I could count on one hand, but I don't count that as a good thing. I still count that as a faux pas. Like, come on. Some of that stuff, like, it was just leaving out a word. And fun fact, I made that into a thumbnail. Because, 9 times out of 10, if I catch a really bad typo, I'll make a thumbnail out of it in my playthrough. So, oh my lord. Oh, I'm just rolling my eyes looking at my notes. The way the story is told and Olympia's constant need to flashback, it is not necessary. Lord, y'all, I tell you, Olympia will have a conversation with character B, right? Another character, right? And like, not even a couple of lines later, she'll be like, oh, character B said this, oh my god, I can't believe character B said this. Girl, you do not need to continually bring up, I understand if like it's the shock, but the rate that she keeps doing this, it's annoying. So I'm not gonna chalk it to bad character development or whatever. It's probably just writing. Like, you could have used those few and far between. Like, I get it. She's 18. She's really young. She's really naive. She doesn't know much. and like, you know, the words that might have impact, yeah, you would have a flashback, but hell, Lily and Kotone didn't have this problem, but Olympia does. So you know, every time a certain character's flashback kept coming up, I would roll my eyes and even tell them to shut up at times. But yeah, with the flashbacks, chill on that for the next one. Hopefully it's not an issue with the upcoming Otomes that I plan to play, but that was just so annoying. It might be on my part, but I hate it when I hit the button and I'm trying to proceed to the next line, and sometimes it will just skip like I mashed the button, which is not true. I didn't do it, and I would screech in my gameplay, "Hey, I didn't do that! Oh my god!" And I have to rewind, or I have to like go to the log and say the line that I missed, or have the character say the line that they missed. I don't know if it's just me and using a wireless control, but I did not have this problem with Pio Fiore and Cafe Enchante. Only with this game that I felt like, and I also had it on the fast setting. So only with this game, I had it on the fast setting, and it felt like I was skipping lines, which I probably wasn't, but I would stop my gameplay every now and then and be like, oh my god, did I skip something? Some mature themes I was kind of uncomfortable with. I'm not gonna say what because it's a really big spoiler, but yeah, this game, this is Otome, this game, whatever. It didn't really pull punches when it came to like certain topics. I didn't say it triggered me because I was able to get through the material. If you were affected by something like this, it would probably be in your best interest to just avoid it. And if you want me to tell you what it is, just feel free to leave a comment and I'll put it under a spoiler tag. I'm doing like the rating of the LIs. I'll tell y'all everything. I'll let it all hang out. But yeah, for sake of spoilers, I'm gonna leave it be as that. But yeah, some of the endings, yeah, it was like a bit, I don't know about that. But it was still tastefully done. It wasn't anything like too crass or too like warranting of an AO rating or whatever. Well, AO, adults only, in ESRB land. Yeah, it was still kind of like, ooh, wow, they're actually going this route, you know? But yeah, it was a bit uncomfortable. This is an M-rated Otome visual novel, and it's rated M for violence, blood, sexual themes, and language. Yeah, that's what it's rated M for. How it handles mature themes, I will say that there is, of course, lewd, lascivious, sexual activity. There's death, of course, and there's some criminal activity. And for this visual novel, it really kind of comes out of left field because what you see on the surface ain't all that's there to see. There's more to it. So if you are, and also like there's kind of like a parallel for the color class system to how racism is depicted. So there's also that. But I have a feeling with how the themes were portrayed, you're seeing it, you're reading it from Olympia's perspective, and of course she's against it. It's just funny how this visual novel in a fantasy type setting, but that takes elements of reality, you know. It's interesting that they went the route that they did. And of course, with the scenes that involve like lovemaking and whatnot, it's done tastefully. It's not even explicit at all. It shouldn't imply that there's. I mean, like, okay, you get the passionate breathing from the LIs, but it's not like, oh my god, should I like leave the premises? No, it's not. It's not that uncomfortable. There's also some scenes in which, you know, I will say savory and unsavory. We'll put it like that. Although there's some thumbnails that I use, so be careful if you're looking through my thumbnails. I do have some spoilers, but it's not like overall huge spoilers. Because I want you to enjoy the story for yourself. I don't want you to be running up on my playthrough and then, you know, mid-morning, you spoiled this for me. Like, no, I don't want to do that. Only if you played the visual novel or you see my playthrough, whatever. But yeah, there's some stuff that is done in a savory manner and then not so savory manner. And then, you know, that the unsavory stuff can lead to a trigger warning. So like I said, I'll be more than happy to tell you ahead of time if, you know, you want to avoid it. But all in all, it helps with the twists and turns and the shock factor. That's what kept me hooked, really. When it comes to the theme of death, be it from something that could be controlled to something that couldn't be controlled, they still handled, the death was handled in like a tasteful manner. It wasn't like too blown out of proportion and like made light of. No, the characters in the story kind of have their set rituals for sending off the dead, you know, respecting the dead. So yeah, I really did appreciate that. The criminal activity, child. Ooh boy. Yeah. There's certain folks that you may grow to hate, but it is what it is. And I don't know what else to say about the criminal activity without going into spoiler territory. So we'll just leave it like that.
Can you read? Wrap it up.
Olympia Soiree. It's another one of the visual novels, like the mature rated visual novels, in which it does kind of give us the old adage that art imitates life. You still get this feeling of you're being whisked away when you're playing the Otome. I say that, like, I can take myself out of my real situation, but sometimes I'm being brought back in when the story mentions certain elements. And, you know, some stuff I just have to laugh at, and then other stuff is like, okay. But I enjoyed it. I would not have completed this game if I didn't enjoy it. Would I say, hey, you should buy it? I mean, you should at least try it. But the avenues for being able to try Otome are few and far between. So definitely, if you see this on sale, I'd say go for it. It retails for $50, but I've seen it go for like $40, $30. So just try to pick it up during sale. And I will say, like, for visual novels, especially M-rated or even like 18 plus, they're not held back by anything. Well, the M ones, oh, wrong side. The M ones, the M-rated ones, they are held back, but that's like between, it's a line between mature rated visual novel and hentai. It's like, you really don't need the hentai for the story to have either a profound effect or not. It's just, I guess, icing on the cake. I tend to like mature rated visual novels because it's not held back by anything. there, but besides what I just said. But you find yourself, you know, ooh, this is real grimy, this is real gully, but it can happen. And it's like, it makes you feel for the character more. The T-rated ones, I'm pretty sure, like Cafe Enchante surprised me. That's just my philosophy with like going for the higher rated visual novels. It's more or less like having the artistic vision to carry out your story to its best potential. Like I said, if you could try it for sure. If you could buy it for sale. I certainly enjoyed it, and I look forward to the next visual novel that comes by our way stateside. So folks, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate you stopping on by, chilling with your girl, getting this review. I'm trying to I'm really trying to learn how to like cut down and talk about the topics in particular. So I would really appreciate some feedback. Let me know if like how I talk about the review is fine. I hate being limited, but it's something I should do in terms of review. I do not want to spoil anything. I think reviews should be spoiler free, especially when you're talking story heavy game. You really don't want to involve spoilers in it. So folks, just as a quick informative bit, I guess, next visual novel, Otome, I will be playing or starting is Variable Barricade. I did want to start that because the artwork on that game looks so freaking crisp. It just draws me to it. And after I finish Variable Barricade, I do not know if it's going to be 100% playthrough or not, because I do want to focus on playthroughs that might not be 100%. But for Variable Barricade, we'll see how. Let me see how I get the feel for it, and then it may be 100% playthrough. It may not. But also, y'all, for those of y'all that don't really care for Otome or like to see another type of gameplay, I will be resuming World's End Club. That's not going to be 100% playthrough. That's just going to be a playthrough. And we'll see where that leads. And then afterwards, y'all, I will do a poll or a voting for which visual novel I should tack on next after Variable Barricade. And then I may do a stream exclusive game. A game that I only stream, and then I will have the VOD of the stream on my YouTube channel. But when it comes to stream exclusive, I don't know if I'm gonna do the simulcast of like Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. It may just be a Twitch simulcast, or excuse me, a Twitch playthrough, or what else? A Twitch playthrough or a YouTube gaming playthrough, the YouTube streaming part. I don't know, it depends. But yeah, because there's some games that I do want to play on PS4 that are coming up or have come up already. And then, yeah, y'all, I'm gonna hopefully have this done before the weather gets bad, because yeah, it's supposed to rain all day today, tomorrow, Monday. And now I don't care about today and Monday because I don't work, but tomorrow, yeah, I kind of do care because I hope the weather isn't too bad. And I come up on some complications. Woo. So folks, again, thank you so much for tuning in with your girl. I hope you stick around for my subsequent playthroughs. Let me know if you enjoyed this review. I will be timestamping the topics that I talk about, so there's that service that I want to do to make life easier. And yeah, y'all know my philosophy on this YouTube shit. View what you wanna, do what you wanna, and I'll see you lovely lads and lassies in the next episode. So until then, my friends, take care, take it easy, and peace.